I'm going to my friend's house to see her dog, Charles.
Charles, look who it is. It's our friend Noel.
Hi, Charles. You're beautiful.
Everything was going well with Noel and Charles at the beginning.
Which hand is it in?
But she didn't know that he had, dun dun dun, rabies.
Rabies is a serious disease. It is caused by a virus. Although it is primarily an animal disease, humans can get it too.
According to the CDC, the rates of rabies are actually declining. Human rabies cases in the United States are rare, with only 1 in 3 cases reported annually. There have been 23 cases of human rabies in the United States reported in the past decade. However, 8 of those were contracted outside the U.S. or its territories. This number has been declining steadily over the past few years thanks to efforts from animal control and vaccination programs.
The main mode of transmission for rabies is through an animal bite. Through rare occasions, one can also get rabies through an organ transplant or exposure to saliva. The main animals that cause rabies are wild animals such as bats, skunks, raccoons, coyotes, and foxes, but also from dogs and cats.
The incubation period of rabies, aka the period of time between exposure and the onset of clinical symptoms, can vary greatly. The typical onset is from 3 to 8 weeks. However, it can be as little as 9 days or as long as several years in some cases.
The initial symptoms of rabies are pain, fever, and fatigue. The main symptoms after a few weeks can become worse and severe. The main symptoms would include seizures, paralysis, and hydrophobia.
In humans, several tests are required to diagnose rabies. Tests are performed on samples of saliva, serum, spinal fluid, and skin biopsies of hair follicles. In animals, rabies is diagnosed by the presence of rabies virus antigens in brain tissue. The test requires that the animal be euthanized.
No, he's dead!
Based on routine public health studies, we have learned that it is not necessary to euthanize and test all animals that potentially expose a person to rabies. For animals with low probability of rabies, such as dogs, cats, and ferrets, observation periods of 10 days may be appropriate to rule out potential rabies exposure.
Yay, he's not dead!
Once a rabies infection is established, there is no effective treatment. Though a small number of people have survived rabies, the disease is usually fatal. For that reason, if you think you've been exposed to rabies, you must get a series of shots to prevent the infection from taking hold. Rabies shots include a fast-acting shot, rabies immune globulin, to prevent the virus from infecting you. Part of this injection is given near the area where the animal bit you if possible, as soon as possible after the bite, and a series of rabies vaccines to help your body learn to identify and fight the rabies virus. Rabies vaccines are given as injections in your arm. You receive 4 injections over 14 days.
This will only hurt a little bit.
Better.
Rabies in humans is 100% preventable through prompt, appropriate medical care. The most important global source of rabies in humans is from uncontrolled rabies in dogs. This major source of rabies in humans can be eliminated through ensuring adequate animal vaccination and control, educating those at risk, and enhancing access of those bitten to appropriate medical care. What can you do? Vaccinate your pet, maintain control of your pets to reduce their exposure to wildlife, spay or neuter to decrease the number of stray animals, and report any stray or ill animals to animal control.
Our star actor fell asleep on the job.
Ready?
No beagles, lions, pug dogs, sloths, or Noels were harmed in the filming of this video.